Okay, so on Canvas and on Big Ideas is your quiz review. So I know I don't normally do a quiz review on Big Ideas, but this time I did. It'll give you a little bit of immediate feedback if you're getting them wrong. Is on Big Ideas. There are 26 questions in the review. I want you to work on it in class. You are going to turn in what you've completed at the end of class. Now, you do not need to submit the assignment on Big Ideas if you haven't finished it yet. Just submit your work file from Notability to Canvas. That's all I want to see at the end of class at 12:30. Then you can go home, continue working on it. If you're going to continue working on it at home, you do not need to resubmit. I only want you to submit what you've completed. If you only complete half of them in class, that's fine. However, if you're only going to turn in 1 or 2 questions, obviously you wasted your class time and you're going to get a low grade. So I want to see you at least complete half of them before class is over. Tomorrow's quiz has 10 questions tomorrow. Of those 10 questions, 5 of them, the instructions are just going to say factor. So on those first 5 questions, you must factor. Turn it into the 2 binomials that it will be in factored form. Then the last 5 questions, 5 will say solve. Of those 5 questions that say solve, 1 will have specific instructions. It will say, use the quadratic formula. Now, for that one, the reason why that one question says use the quadratic formula is because it cannot be factored. I did not want you to sit there and waste time trying to find the factors when it won't factor. So on that one question where it says use the quadratic formula, you must, because it is going to have a square root in the answer. You must leave it in simplest radical form. You are not using a calculator. The other 4 questions that say solve, you can choose whatever method you want to solve those. I know in the quiz review, it's telling you which method to use. However, on the quiz, you can choose. Generally, you could use the quadratic formula to solve all 5. However, sometimes when it's something that you could use the square root method, that would be faster. And honestly, factoring is faster than the quadratic formula. Once you do enough practice of factoring, that'll become second nature, and you'll be able to do that a lot faster than using the quadratic formula. The problem with the quadratic formula is if you make one simple calculation or one simple sign mistake, then the whole answer is wrong. So just remember that any of the solve questions can be radicals, can be fractions, and they can be integers. So 5 factor questions, 5 solve. There's only 1 which specifies the method to use on the solving. The other 4 you can choose, whichever method you want. So 10 questions tomorrow. You'll get 30 minutes. Be able to work rapidly. If you get stuck on one of the more challenging questions, skip it and keep moving. Remember, as you're going through this quiz review, you must have all of your equations in standard form. You need to have the x squared term first, then the non-squared variable, then the constant. This goes for factoring, and it also applies for solving. It must be put in standard form. If it's just a simple factoring question, all you do is rearrange the terms. However, if it's got an equal sign and you're moving something across the equal sign, that's where you need to use inverse operations. So just be careful on questions where it's not given to you in the correct order. Next week, we will start chapter 10. We will be using solving these quadratics in some of the questions throughout chapter 10.